Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 26 of The Good, The Dan, The Florida Man. With you, as always, your hosts.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the good. I'm happy to be here. With me, as always, we got some of the Dan. Dan,
yes, I am the Dan. I'm the Dan, and we also have...
The Ben. I'm the Florida Man. I thought Ryan was just going to introduce all of us at that point.
I got a little excited.
I was like, oh, okay.
I got a little
too excited there.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. If this is your first time listening to us, thank you for tuning in. We hope we say something or do something this week that makes you want to tune in next week. We are three stand-up comedians that kind of had to stop doing stand-up as the world shut down. We turned to a podcast where we can just really do whatever we want. Today's episode will be sharing Stranger Stories, which is just a fun name for stories that you have submitted that we have asked for, and let's hope they're weird and funny and wacky, and we're just gonna have a really good time roasting you. So thank you so much for sending those in. Before we get there, we are still three stand-up comedians, so we do have some shows coming up. Ryan, what do you got coming up? Where can people see you?
If you want to see me, first off, my website, youthpastorryan.com, is going to have all the things most updated, but also we got Tempe, Arizona, October 28th. We've also got Off the Hook Comedy Club, which is going to be September 30th through October 2nd. That one always gets me because it's like a weird thing going on there. And then November 4th through 6th, I'm doing the weekend at, what is that beautiful place called? Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Comedy Loft. I'm super stoked to see them. That's what I got. Dan, what's going on with you? What you got?
I'm doing all the open mics in Utah, baby. That's what I'm doing.
All of them?
Yes.
Every single one.
Yes.
That's king.
And did I just open for Ben Brainard?
You don't have to do this.
I think I did.
He does.
I think I did. I just opened for Ben Brainard, and wow, he was just fantastic, guys.
Dan, how did it go? It went good? It went
so
great?
Fantastic. So
Tell me the
great.
specifics. No, tell me the
He
specifics.
he told this
No.
joke. What a funny joke it was. It was great. It was a good joke.
That's like being brought up on stage like, yo, your next comic is really nice. Such a
I'm
nice
sure you're going to
dude.
do great, Ben. For
Thanks,
those of you
Dan.
that don't know, we recorded this beforehand. Who cares? He does fantastic every single time. Let's be honest. It's Ben Brainard.
All right, we don't
but
need to
if you do want to
jinx me.
check me out, I do have a show at WB's in Ogden, Utah on the 30th of September. So come and check me out there. Other than that, Ben, what shows do you have?
I got a few shows coming up in Ohio. I'll be in Ohio October 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Cleveland, Liberty Township, Toledo, and Columbus. The show on the 5th in Dayton has been canceled, but I'll be at Hilarities and then the Funny Bones in Liberty Township, Toledo, and Columbus. And then I'll be in the Carolinas at the end of October. Raleigh, Greenville, Charlotte, and Greensboro at the Raleigh Improv and the Comedy Zones in Greenville, Charlotte, and Greensboro. And then at the end of October, I will be at the Irvine Improv in Irvine, California, opening for Frank Caliendo. And the Oxnard Levity Live in Oxnard, California, also opening for Frank Caliendo.
Are you going to go back to North and South Carolina's meeting point?
I don't.
To honor
no,
us?
that's mostly just a Ryan thing.
A what? A me?
Yeah.
A wedding? What? They
The
hear
what?
weddings? I bet I
No,
heard.
he said I'm
If
going to
Ryan
go to the
doesn't
meeting
have
point
his
where North and
his
South
wedding
Carolina goes.
At the
No, I'd
meeting
love to
point
do
of
that.
Minnesota,
Watch.
North Carolina, and South Carolina, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Hold on, wait. Let me see where. Let me see a U.S. map real quick. Let me just. All right, where?
You don't have to. We can
I
just
think
move
no,
on.
No. Yeah, let's. So you guys can move on as I move into this goodness. Okay, that did not
Okay,
help.
well, as I said earlier, we are doing Stranger Stories. This is a new segment for us where we just ask our audience to send in their strangest, wackiest, weirdest, wildest, and funniest stories for us to read live on the podcast and react. So let's just hope you guys send us some fun ones. We picked out a couple each. We're going to start off with an update to the story that started it all. We're jumping back in with Anonymous. And if you don't know, Anonymous, this story, is pregnant with her ex-boyfriend's child, and her ex-boyfriend is now sleeping with her twin brother, who is trans.
So there was a threat of pregnancy.
Yes, and Anonymous walked in on the two of them banging on the sofa,
I thought you were
No,
gonna go
Shaggy, it wasn't me. There.
It wasn't me.
like Zoinks, man. It
Like
was.
Zoink Scoob. That is not what I wanted to see today.
Why'd you become Jerry Seinfeld?
My Shaggy's not great. Well, we're gonna jump in. This is what Anonymous has to say this time. I'm back with an update on the gay baby daddy dating my twin brother. I guess I want to start off by clarifying that as crazy as my life is, this is real. Although I do have to agree, my life would make an amazing Wattpad fanfic. It absolutely would. Yeah. I just am horrible at keeping secrets, and I tend to way overshare. What? No, I feel like you've shared the appropriate amount of information with people you've never met. I don't have any.
We should ask the brother. Was this too much? Was this too much? Oh, we're not sure.
Well, as you may find out, the brother may or may not listen to our podcast as well.
That's true.
I don't have any personal boundaries hardly, but I do respect other people's. If any of you can recommend one similar to my life, please let me know. Now, for my best friend. For how my best friend reacted to being told he's a dad. It's been about a week and a half since we sat down and actually talked, and that was the first time we spoke since I walked in on him trying to bury my brother into the couch. Good details. These are the sentences that make me think it's a Wattpad fanfic.
Because it's just so good. It's so good of a like.
It's just not a description I don't think I would use if I walked in on my ex-boyfriend having sex with my current brother on my couch. I don't think if I was just sharing this information, I wouldn't say like, yeah, it's been about a week since I watched my ex-boyfriend bury my brother. I don't think I would use the word bury.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what would you use?
You're
Plow?
I'm with you on that.
I think I would just say walked in. I don't think I would say anything else. I don't think I would describe what happened.
I would use Bobby Schmurda and say I caught a body about a week ago. Hey, that's what I do. Yes.
Is that what you would do, Dan?
Yes, that's what I would do. A shmoney dance. Yes.
All right. Oh, I didn't see that one coming, to be completely honest. That was new to me.
Oh, man. So, best friend has said that he is going to step up and take care of our child, and we do still have several things to talk about, but we do have a few ground rules we plan on following. I don't really have a big dramatic update to give. I'm 8 weeks pregnant right now as I'm typing this up, nursing my morning sickness with saltines and ginger ale. That is the appropriate, that's the doctor
I'm so sorry, though.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, love.
My brother keeps making stepdad jokes, and it's making me question if he watches the podcast too. Although I do have one detail that might make you crack up. My best friend definitely pulled out that night, and I refuse to sit on the couch now, because our black couch is stained white. I am happy to report I will not be an aunt, but I am unhappy to say that I have also lost a beloved couch. Condolences.
Ew, throw it away,
Gross.
burn it. Don't
Gross.
keep that.
Yeah,
Gross.
I don't, okay, and then because I get more upset at the end of this story. My other two roommates, we're renting a house with 2 college students, there's 5 of us in total, are also upset with my twin and best friend over this, as they should be.
They should absolutely be.
Your twin and best friend should be fully ashamed of themselves for having sex on the communal couch.
Yes.
You're living with
spilling.
5 people?
And spilling on the communal couch.
Yeah.
I hated spilling. Gross. So gross, man. Spilling?
Would you rather say quitting?
No, I would not rather say that was just such a gross. Oh, God. Detail. Hey, what happened here? Oh, we spilled. What'd you spill? Me. Like, quite literally spilled your guts.
My posterity.
Not a vibe. That's what I gotta say.
I just got not vibed.
Also, my best friend has informed me that he started watching 3 weeks ago. He informed me when I got home today that he figured out that it was me that sent all this in after today's episode. He is thankfully not upset, but he did want me to say hello to Ryan for him. He says that you're very hot and to let him know if you ever decide to try out being gay.
Try out? Like it's
Just
an
because-
ice cream
yeah.
flavor? I
Like
make that
it's a
joke in my
trial.
set where it's just like, people always expect me to try, but it's not like ice cream where it's like, not that flavor.
Hey,
Like, I mean,
get in line, buddy. I'm Ryan's first love. Thank you very much. If ever he's going to try being gay, I'm the first person.
Dan does have dibs, quite literally, on my butt. No,
I hope not. I hope
There is one more sentence.
Dan, you can't see. You can't lean into it, and then when I make an admission of
Ryan, don't reciprocate. Ew, Ryan, don't be gay. Ew.
Yeah, right. Ryan, that was so gay of you. What?
He says, to tie this up, no offense, Ryan, but I have to disagree with him. Ben is a lot more attractive, in my opinion.
Can I just say that this is the most stereotypical thing that could have happened? Of course, someone who is gay found me more attractive, and then with a straight person was like, Ben, of course. That's my whole life up until this point. It's just gay men being so kind to me and so sweet, and unfortunately, me just being... The quality of gay men that have hit on me far surpasses the quality of women that have ever hit on me. I don't know if I will tell this full story ever on the podcast because the person's very real, and I don't think that he listens to it. But like, I got hit on by a prince at one point, and I can't say
like
but like
prince of like a country.
Yeah, like of a country. And I can't.
What?
And it was a cool thing, but it was one of those things where I was like, man. Never been hit on by a princess. That's never. Well, Disney's different, but that's not the same. It doesn't come with all the cool perks. Yeah.
Well, now I get to ask you the question: would you rather date a prince or Prince?
Oh, definitely Prince. Mostly because I would be a legend for bringing him back from the dead.
Okay, we'll just pretend hypothetically Prince is alive. You're on the same. It's a normal amount of age gap for him to want to hit on you.
I really want to get knighted, so I think I'm going to go with a Prince. But I will say this, Little Red Corvette slaps. So I don't know. It's up there. It's tough. Little Red Corvette. You know, that's where I'm at.
Sure. No, I'm glad. Yeah, that was... yes.
I think I nailed it.
You can go. I have no more questions.
Yeah, that was, gosh, what a powerhouse follow-up. Let's move on to some more of these stories because we got more. Here's someone who wanted us to throw one up. They actually sent us something in previously. So we got Ryan, Dan, and Ben. You guys asked for stories, so I thought I might submit a few. Now they're pretty short because trauma blocked most of the minor details. Nice.
I fully understand that.
It's funny because this kind of all goes together as one, and I love it. My first one is from when I was in kindergarten because I just did something very similar to this, which apparently I was even sassy. Even then I was sassy, but right. Anyhow, one day my grandmother picks me up from school, and the first words out of my mouth were, "Boys will drive you crazy. I know because I have some class." Like
some in class.
Oh, in class. Oh, that's funnier to me if it's just I have some class. I have some in class. Both are true. Both are true. That one was clear evidence that I was a lesbian. I love that as the start. Later that same year, my mother picks me up and I got in trouble because I took advantage of another kid's tantrum to get my milk back from the teacher instead of eating my lunch. Why did the teacher steal the milk is my question. But also, when I was asked why I didn't eat lunch, I said it tastes bad while drinking my milk and my lunch was in the trash. You just ditched it and we're like, some of that 2%. Epic.
I like this person.
Right?
Yeah, even in kindergarten, they're not taking no shit from nobody.
Nobody.
They saw an opportunity and they were like, I'm gonna get my milk back.
I also just love them because they drink their milk and that strengthens the bones.
It's a heist movie at this point.
Remember last time you drank milk, Dan?
Oh, did not strengthen your sphincter.
Oh yeah, we're bringing that up again. Sorry.
Yeah, we are.
I was gonna say, as a typical lactose intolerant person, I have drunk milk since then many times, and it's always been a bad experience. So
what is wrong with you? That's just I love you so much, but this, apparently
not
masochism.
Milk intake apparently.
Anyway, a teacher could not argue because again, I was right. In my last email, I mentioned I participated in NJROTC for 2 years. For those who don't know, it stands for Junior Navy Recruitment Officer Training Corps. It's a freaking mouthful. It is a military structure class that feeds into the military after high school. Our teachers were retired Army or Armed Forces personnel, and the military funded it. In the class, I was good at what I was, kind of like Ben, I was good, but didn't care. And then after 1 year, we worked school events. One of these things we did was work chain gang. Feel free to make jokes. We all did. At the football games, we would run those big. I also don't know.
I know they're not here to answer the questions that I have, but I have many.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean working chain gang during the football? Do they actually have these people like dressed up? Oh, the chain gang in football. Okay, these are the people that carry the first down marker.
For first down.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I was thinking chain gang like
I was
like an
this
oh brother,
feels-
where art thou?
This feels not good.
No. It's surprisingly good. It's surprisingly low key.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because I also had the same thing that I kept reading. I was like, remember to make jokes about the football games? We would run those big orange markers, which I think is hilarious.
I guess I could have just waited one sentence then.
Yeah, not even just a comma. For some context, I was 15 at the time. I am 5'0", weighing about 100 pounds. My sophomore year, I was dating this guy who was in charge of chain gang. Ooh, dating a higher-up. Nice.
Wow.
Now, he was an idiot that didn't know what he was doing, so I did most of the work. That's hilarious.
Well,
I love
that's
that
a man for you.
Surprise shade for no reason. I love it. During one of the games, the football players got too close to the line where we stood. So as we were supposed to do, I ordered, in order to avoid being tackled, I dropped the marker and ran. And everyone else, even though I yelled and dropped, run, got tackled. So essentially, she drops it, runs, and then everyone else just gets laid out, which I think is fantastic.
Well,
Are they
which
not
also
paying attention
is-
to the football game?
Yeah, right. What were you watching?
Okay, but let's be honest. You have a giant orange flag, and then you drop it, and suddenly there's a football player coming at you. You're not going to be able to see that. I
a
imagine.
team of football
You don't have
players.
to stand with your head behind the orange marker, Dan.
Well, I imagine it's like
You could just-
a raging bull. The sight of orange football players. That's how football is played, correct? Yeah, you just
Yeah, they do
wave.
tend to run at the orange marker because they want the first down.
Yes,
But like you could just see it happening. Oh, they're moving this way. I'm gonna drop this and move that way.
I'm a ski and daddle. Like
The
that.
sound-
Yeah.
of the sound of the chains hitting the orange rug angers the football players.
Hitting the
I don't
orange
think
rug.
you know what is being talked about right now. That's what I'm getting from this. I think you're just trying to grasp.
I don't know the context, so I'm just going to assume. I'm just going to
It's
say
really
I
fun to
think
watch.
this is how it's done.
I want just an episode to be Dan describes sports he's never played. Like, it's just
We give him a rule from a sport, and he has to tell us what that rule means.
right. Oh, that'd be
I
so much.
actually would love a segment like that. That'd be hilarious.
That would be so
I know
much
I'm a
fun.
total idiot when it comes to sports, so
Oh,
Go.
but yet you're confident, and we respect that.
I am.
All right, let's see what we got. We got a little bit more. I did also want to ask you guys for some creative ideas to tell off persistent military recruiters. I just turned 18, so they won't leave me alone. For some context, I'm an 18-year-old autistic and physically disabled female that grew up in the South. I hope one of my stories made you laugh. First off, I love your stories. I love the heist one is my favorite. But my question, so Ben, do you have any good off the top of your head for telling
Yes.
people off? Because I've got a few.
So I actually have a few that I've used on recruiters that tend to get them to stop. The first one obviously is just me going, I've already served.
Nice.
Yeah. So when they message me or text me or call me, I go, actually, this is Specialist Brainard with the U.S. Army Reserves, and then they're just like, oh, whoops, sorry. And they hang up. And the other one that works really good is if you just, because they'll text you now. They'll text you like, blah, blah, blah. So you just text them back or tell back to them, I'm going to college. And they'll stop.
What? How dare you?
I would say a couple different things. Depending on like if you want the giggles or not. But like I just think looking at someone and going, I'm a, oh gosh, what is the term for it? I'm a pacifist now, or I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I feel like that's always fun.
I've got bone spurs.
Good one, yes, because at least
fun
they'll
to
probably
go-
giggle.
Am I allowed to serve if I'm a felon? Because you're not. You're not allowed.
Oh, yeah, just lie that you've committed a felony. I think that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Also, you could be like, it looks like we pulled out, like, I just feel like we're not killing enough people anymore, so I'd prefer to go private military. I feel like that would be a fun one. To just be like, I really want to be in the action.
If you get a text from them, just text them back, thank you for subscribing to Cats Daily.
And then send them a
And
picture of
then
a kitten.
every day you send them a picture of a cat every single day without a single option of letting them unsubscribe.
I
you would
don't
like to
want them to see
unsubscribe from these text messages,
have the option to unsubscribe, but never listen to it. Just every time it says they say unsubscribe, and then just keep sending the cats.
Yep. That'd
Yeah.
be a great way to go about it. Some
Anyway.
of them probably would just let you do it, honestly. They don't
Yeah.
want to be there.
Dan, next story is up to you, good sir.
Yes, this story comes from Kelly. You asked for a story time. You got one. I wish mine was
boy.
going to be funny. It's more of a karma kind of story. I
Oh,
love
karma
that.
stories
We
are
love
always
it.
fun to the people that
We
the
love
karma
an
is not attacking.
karma story.
true.
Forgive me for doing the Ariana Grande. My grandfather passed away, and there was a lawsuit going on. So the lawyer advised to go by his will. It was a 50-50 split between my mom and my aunt. A little over 2 years later, lawsuit is still going on, and my mom passed away. Wow, I'm so sorry. My cousin couldn't even wait 2 months before calling me to say, since my mom passed, it should be a 4-way split. Her brother, her mom, and I. Of course, I was so pissed. She
Is
was
this
bringing
the-
this up. I just hung
this
up
the-
on her.
This is like the mortician's commutative property of inheritance.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
This is what a handful for a lawyer.
Yeah. Wild. It just keeps dividing and dividing and dividing as people die. I just don't understand. I don't understand why your cousin has a claim on a 4-way split at that point.
Cousin would be aunt's daughter
Aunt's daughter. Yeah.
or aunt's daughter or son.
Okay.
So the inheritance, we're just like mathematically speaking, 50% would go to aunt, 50% would go to the mom, and so like
That's what I was
now-
saying. I was saying the aunt's portion belongs to the aunt and her daughter. Like, the daughter doesn't need to get any of your money, in my opinion.
right. So yeah, the cousin doesn't belong in here, I guess.
Why is she getting involved, and why is she bringing her brother and herself into the equation? It's like, no, your mom's money is your mom's money, my mom's money
Yeah.
is my money. Like, that's
Well, there's still a
period.
lawsuit, so who even knows at this point?
Oh,
Trust me,
we're
keep
gonna
reading.
find out.
It's
we're
good.
gonna find out. Of course, I was so pissed. She was bringing this up, and I just hung up on her. But not before she
job,
told
Kelly.
me if they voted, it would be a 3-1, and I'd lose.
I don't think that's
Again,
how
that's
any
not
of
how
this
math
works.
works, my cousin. Just saying. So she thought. My aunt told her we weren't doing that. This to my cousin was also my fault. The only reason my aunt sided
Okay.
with me is a family secret that I knew, and my aunt begged me to not tell my cousin till this day. I haven't
this is
said a word to
blackmail.
her, mainly because I cut her out of my life. So as far as I know, she still doesn't know. Okay, and
blackmail
now the juicy
twist.
part. And now the juicy part.
The juicy.
Now
The
juicy part.
blackmail twist is not the juicy part. We
We
were just
we
in the
love-
middle of
I
we were in the
mean,
middle of an
it's
inheritance
fantastic.
lawsuit, and now
Also-
she's like, I'm gonna win this because I have blackmail on
Yeah,
my
but Ben,
aunt.
we get to know the blackmail.
If anything, baby Kelly, you could just be like, and also I want your portion. Just saying. I would go for all of it if you're going this far. A little background. My grandma was married twice. She had
for
3
her.
kids. My mom was the youngest, and they all thought the first husband was their dad. He was to 2 of the kids. So my mom and I
Dun, dun,
were the only
dun.
blood relatives to my grandfather, and my aunt said the news would crush my cousin if she knew. Well, if she's listening, she knows now. Ooh.
What a way to end that.
that's
to
fine.
Kelly's cousin.
Oh.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
I hope that this clip, because I would assume this one's going to get clipped up, goes viral enough that it makes it to that person. Just like, oh, maybe I'm petty.
Good luck.
I
I
am
think
petty.
you're a little petty.
Me?
That's not
Does
very
that mean
pure
does
of you,
that wait?
right?
But I want to know. Does that mean that Kelly gets all the money though? Because she's the only blood relative at this point, or is she like merciful?
No, because it was
Well-
still left to both of
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
But she's
I
gonna get
imagine-
her half.
Yeah, I imagine the will didn't say, my inheritance to my blood relative children.
Only to the blood ones.
Yeah.
Not the non-blood ones.
Not the mudbloods. Oh, shut up. I'm gonna get canceled by Harry Potter TikTok now.
Oh my god.
That would be so fun. I would love to see that happen.
Hey, you know what? Everybody thinks it's funny to get canceled until you're canceled by the religion of peace.
I'm going to clip that and I'm going to start the movement. I'm going to be a part of Harry Potter TikTok and be like, cancel Ben Brainard. He said it to me.
He said mudblood on a podcast.
A second
it again.
time, Ben?
Twice. Oh my gosh, Ben.
Oh,
You said the MB word? You terrible person.
Muggleborn.
I'm so happy with this.
I guess.
All right, Ben, you want to kick
let's-
us into that next story? Oh god.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in on this next story. This one's really juicy. I read it beforehand, and boy, is there a lot happening here. This is from Alice. Hi guys, I've been listening to your podcast for a while now because it never fails to make me laugh. My favorite part is always the story time. Last week, Ryan asked some of the Alabama listeners to send some more wild stories like Anonymous did, and oh boy, were those the magic words. I pretty regularly find myself in situations that could make a really good soap opera episode, and just a few weeks ago, I got an audible "oh no" from my therapist. So strap in. When the therapist says "oh no," that's when you send it into a podcast.
Absolutely.
This is a wild one, and the definition of the Sweet Home Alabama story you were asking for. So I guess the best place to start would be to say I grew up with a single mother. My dad was pretty out of the picture, but I'd see him a few times a year. They did not get along at all and were barely on civil terms. According to my gossipy extended family, they'd never gotten along even the short year or two they'd been together before what was apparently a very explosive end. None of my extended family knew what happened during the final fight, but word was whatever happened, it was so bad my mom took me and moved across the state within a week. That's not say I come from Florida. Across the state is literally like just like a 2-hour drive. So
Hey.
I don't know. It's probably some better statistics.
What if it was top to bottom though? That'd be a lot.
That's a hefty move from the Keys to Jacksonville. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Eventually, when I was about 8, we moved closer to family, and for a while we lived with my grandma along with my 2 cousins. They were staying with her while my aunt was doing something that could be its own story, but won't be today. Oh boy, do I smell another story time coming from this.
Alice, we need more.
You can't leave us hanging. That's just not how we work.
Right now.
At some point during this, I remember coming to the realization that one of my cousins, the one closest in age to me, has what's basically a feminine version of my dad's extremely uncommon name. I thought this was hilarious for some dumb kid reason, and ever since then, I've been making jokes that my cousin is actually my sister, mostly because of the name and the fact that we lived together for so long. Does anyone else smell foreshadowing?
I'm so scared. It's just, it's reeking in here. It's reeking.
Ooh, the foreshadow.
No, I'm so...
My
Okay.
family, predictably, did not find this funny. They kept telling me she was named after some long-lost great relative, which could be true for all I know. But the fact that my parents and my aunt were in the same friend group in high school, and the fact my aunt and dad act like gender-swapped versions of each other didn't look good for their case, and I find it really funny to annoy them, so I kept the joke going for a while. That's the correct decision, by the way. I don't fault you at all for making this decision. That's a decision I regret with all of my being because I think that might be the decision that made me believe in karma. Well, here's the deal, Alice.
No.
I don't regret your decision.
Right.
Personally.
But honestly,
Very
if Ben regretted
selfishly.
your decision, that means you've done something right. Like,
Yes.
That's fair.
Valid.
When I was a teenager, I went through my second heartbreak, as most teenagers do. It was a particularly rough breakup. I did what any hurt teenage girl would do, and I made the foolish mistake of going to my mom about it. Ryan, didn't you do that too?
what? I never had 2 breakups in high school. Are you kidding? I wasn't that popular.
No, but you went to your mom about one of them, at least.
I totally did. I absolutely
Yeah.
did. But that was actually getting in a relationship I didn't want to be in, and I
okay,
was
right.
panicking.
As any teenage girl would do.
Yeah.
I remember asking her about her breakup with my dad because I remember everyone telling me it was awful, and I thought maybe she would have some of that motherly wisdom to help me move past this mediocre boy. That is not what I got. Instead, my mom admitted she came home from work and walked in on my dad and my aunt drunk on the kitchen floor in the middle of the night, completely naked.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Why do I keep getting the Shaggy's "it wasn't me" stories?
Right, you really do. Like, wasn't me.
They caught me on the counter.
It wasn't me.
Creeping with the
We
girl
caught you on the
next door.
sofa. Wasn't me.
You creeping with my aunt.
It's all
No,
floor.
it's in this story. Yeah, creeping with my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is some epic betrayal there. In a really wow.
I want to say that's the end of it, but it's not.
Oh, it's not. There's a whole other paragraph.
Because if it were, I ask you why I'd be talking to my therapist about it just a few weeks ago. It gets worse. Because a few weeks ago, my aunt went AWOL from her apartment. She and her fiance had a fight, and she threw the ring at him and stormed out. He didn't think to let anyone know until a few days later when she still had not come home. Of course, the whole family went out looking for her. I asked my dad to text one of their mutual friends to see if she was staying with her. Turns out we didn't need to call her because she was with my dad. Apparently, right after she left her fiance's apartment, she called my dad and told him she's always been in love with him since they met in middle school. That she thought they were meant to be together. They're dating now.
No. No.
Just no. Nah.
Just Dan's very calm, cool, collected. No.
Just a peaceful disagreement. Just a nope. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Thank you so much for telling. There's a couple more sentences.
Yeah, there's
but I
nothing
just wanna
left.
take
Or
a-
there's more.
I want to take a moment and just say thank you so much for blessing our days with this story.
This brings me so much.
I would like to play the mediocre boy that broke your heart when this comes into a movie. I want to be that. Whenever this turns into a Hallmark movie.
What if all of these movies just become a series on like Hallmark? It's
Oh
like
my gosh.
A
Alish's story.
Netflix series of terrible family stories.
Terrible Alabama family stories.
This is
Alabamian.
drunk history, but it's real people.
It really is.
It's a real drunk history.
There's still more.
Yeah. My question is, what do I do at my family reunion? That is a great question. It's in late September, and it'll be a few days long. My therapist is giving me real advice, so feel free to make the answers as fun as you want. Also, let me know if you want to hear more stories from the hurricane that is my life, because I am more than willing to. I have more than I'm willing to admit. First of all, yes.
Yes, 1,000%, Alice. Yeah.
Here's my advice. Take the therapist to your family reunion because they need it. They need that. You know, pay for a session just where she can go around the party and be like, baby, no.
You should play this episode of the podcast on a speaker during the family reunion and just see if anybody notices.
Yeah.
I want the first thing to be like
Let
somebody
us come
going,
to the family reunion.
Oh, they just said Alice. Your name's Alice. That's so silly. And then like 10 minutes in, they're like, oh no.
Oh, God. Like that.
Alice, why did you do this?
Why did you send us to the three dorky guys on a podcast, you
Why are these
monster?
white men talking about us?
My genuine advice would be to just not go.
Not go, obviously.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't go, period.
That was definitely my advice as well.
That's on what? That's on period. Do not go. Why do you need to go? Right?
No, I wouldn't go. That's
I
crazy.
feel gross.
Freaking nuts.
I hope your mom isn't going either. I hope your mom stays very far away from all of this.
Actually, no. If you do go and hug your aunt and just go, hi, new mom.
You're my mom now. I like calling you mom.
Yeah, I just make it super uncomfortable for her the entire time. And say anything to make my dad uncomfortable. He was this type of, oh my gosh.
How would you make someone feel uncomfortable in that situation?
I don't know. It sounds like they've pretty much queued up.
Just don't
like-
stop staring.
Oh my gosh.
This takes
Actually, you know what?
staring
No,
This
at
takes Drunken
Just do-
Love, Beyonce's song title, to a new level, I feel like. And that's it's so weird.
Just
This is
do
actually the music video.
just do what Ben said. Just play Shaggy's It Wasn't Me the entire time. Blast it, get a boombox, walk around with that stuff. Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy.
I kind of want to go and take my mini mic
Can-
to this family reunion and just go around and get people's thoughts and opinions on the whole
Wait,
thing.
what is
Can we go to your
Can
family
we go?
reunion?
Yeah, right, wait. And it's in late September.
It's in late September.
Do you guys want to go? Do you think Alice will let us go?
Alice would absolutely let us go. The family might think otherwise.
Hilarious anyway. We can just pretend we're like distant cousins.
So, hi.
Closer than family at that point.
Not closer to this family. All right. Moving into our next story. I've got some. They sent in two, so it starts with sorry for sending in two, but this is what it is. So I went to a community college out of high school and I lived with my parents before transferring. When I was 19, my dad went and searched my bedroom. He changed his story 3 times for why he did this. At this
Immediately
point,
suspicious.
so suspicious. At this point, he had to have seen the weed in there and didn't care about that at all, as long as I smoked outside. But the Cheez-its! Oh no!
What?
Yeah.
How many Cheez-its did you have?
What if it was like it looked like she robbed a convenience store? It's just like that many Cheez-Its.
Yeah,
Also,
if
what
you
if it was
walked
just
into
the
a
type
room,
he didn't like.
it was
you know?
just like Cheez-Its from wall to floor. At that point, I'm like, yeah, okay, the dad should be suspicious about why you have so many Cheez-Its.
Have you guys ever had the? I think they're called the Queso Fiesta Cheez-Its. They're like the best. They're so good.
I have not.
Do you think she smoked weed to cover the scent of Cheez-Its?
Man, I gotta get some of the worst skunk weed just so that you can't smell that delicious cheesy goodness. That's where he drew the line. He became concerned for my weight. I mean, I'm
This
thick.
has to be.
What?
Keep going.
Oh no, I mean I'm thick, not gonna lie, but still, bro. And sent me to a therapist.
This has to be just an ungodly amount of Cheez-Its.
This reeks of this reeks of bad parenting. My goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be both.
It stinks worse than
45
Cheez-Its in here.
boxes.
Oh my goodness, it stinks of bad parenting.
If this
Yeah.
is just like a full dump truck of Cheez-Its, it's just like a pile, not even box, just an actual like massive laundry
Yes.
pile of Cheez-Its just on her floor that she snacks. She like grabs and snacks off.
I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and say, "Ugh, your dad is being a bad parent. But I'm also like, if how many Cheez-Its have to be present to the point where they're
There's-
like, hey.
You go to therapy. You get freaking mental diagnosed based on the amount of cheesy goodness that is in your room. Like that's.
There's so many cross signals here that I'm getting from the dad because like one bad dad for talking about like being concerned out loud about your daughter's weight, but also good dad for sending her to therapy.
I get like you scarred them and then sent them. Also, here's the thing. I will say this: what we don't know how thick. You know what I mean? In here we've got 2 C's. That seems like you wouldn't want to like disturb your daughter about that. But if we're talking my 600-pound life, some things need to change. You know what I mean?
As someone who has gone through the weed and Cheez-Its phase, I can say very confidently that it's just a phase. I don't know.
Probably. I mean,
pretty confident.
logically, it was probably just like a couple boxes of Cheez-Its and her dad's a psychopath.
That's what I think so too. Yeah, but there are
That
so many
doesn't mean-
questions.
There are other answers that could fit the scenario. Is MTV knocking on your door for a new subseries?
Right,
My super cheesy life.
My cheesy addiction. You know what I mean? Like this would be a problem.
What's the name?
Kehlani.
Do we know the name?
Kehlani?
Kehlani, yeah.
Ah, okay. Hi, my name's Kehlani. I'm the Cheez-Its girl. Yeah, I eat Cheez-Its every single day for 24 hours. Like,
Welcome
it has
to
be that
MTV's Weird
severe.
Addictions.
My strange addiction? I don't know. Wow.
There's the thing, it's like, I tend to agree with Kehlani on this one, where it's like, this is some bad parenting, don't do this. But also, if we find out some more details that you had a wall of Cheez-It boxes and you have not left your
Alphabetized
room.
by flavor profile.
Yeah, I feel like that puts me on the other side, and maybe that makes me the villain. But I'm just gonna put that out there.
Unless.
Also, it
and
gets better, by the way.
Yeah. Here's another interesting take on the whole story. She says
I love
he
interesting
changed his
takes.
story 3 times for why he did it too. At this point, he had to have seen that I had weed in there, but didn't give 2 about that one, as long as I smoked outside, and then goes into the Cheez-its. What if the dad was just like, I don't want to address the weed stuff because it's too uncomfortable, so I'm gonna pretend like it's about Cheez-its. Right? Like, what if he's like, I don't want to talk about weed with my daughter.
Wow, Dan, so
I
you
like
forgot
about
the
Jesus.
female version of a child. What?
Now,
What are women?
I like the angle you're going on with this one, Dan, but I'd like to take it a step further and say that the dad is actually, he's not upset about the weed because he smokes weed too. He's upset about the Cheez-Its because he's the one that buys the Cheez-Its for his weed snacks, and she has been stealing his Weed-Its, cheese Weed-Its, his weed Cheez-Its.
It's
And
a
he's
reverse.
very upset, so now he is fully pranking her by making her go to therapy for stealing his weed.
You know.
By the way, guys, it's not done.
Typical
Like,
prank.
not just
There's
any
more.
therapist, but his old therapist.
It's just a reverse Marceline the Vampire Queen story, right? You ate my fries, you ate my Cheez-Its.
Also, this is where it
with
gets
you.
weirder. Let me just finish this up real quick for you guys to put this into perspective. Not just any therapist, but his old therapist. And if I did not go, they would no longer let me work. Weird thing to cut out. Since work was my big get me TF out of this house, I went to the therapist, and the therapist agreed that it was BS. So you weren't going to kick them out. You were just going to not let them go to work, a place of employment.
You're gonna force them to stay in. Which,
Where the
if you're
Cheez-Its are.
yeah, if you're concerned about your daughter's weight, is that what it says? Weight or
Yeah,
health?
yeah,
it says
weight,
weight.
weight.
If you are quote unquote concerned about your daughter's weight, maybe the best idea is to not lock her inside where the laundry load of Cheez-Its are. Maybe it's in your best interest to force her to get a second job.
And it says a gym coach. Like these are your options if you're really concerned. Also, it says also, Ben, I listen to a true crime podcast. Shout out Morbid if you like true crime, and you should look up the OG Florida man, Carl Tansler. It had to be a Carl.
It had to be a call.
Of course, it was a Carl.
I'll do that.
Had to be a call.
Yeah.
I will do that. Thank you for the recommendation, Kaylani. I hope your situation gets better.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Well, no, okay. Well, she said this. She phrased this like it was a past tense thing. She says, "When I was 19."
Yes.
So maybe she's probably already out then.
Yes.
Yeah,
So this
I
is
think she's
probably
out.
just like a yeah.
This is definitely
Okay.
a
Well
past
then, I'm glad you made it out, Kaylani. And I hope you are eating all of the Cheez-Its that your heart desires.
Yes.
But, okay,
and I hope
but
you're
like
smoking all the weed. Yes.
I also kind of hope that it's like a healthy amount of Cheez-Its. I don't care about your weight, but like don't go into
But we also don't want you
Cheez-It
to
cardiac
die.
arrest.
we want you to,
They're not-
stay within the recommended dose.
Yeah, take some vitamins or something with him, you know?
The recommended dose of
Throw him in a
Cheez-Its.
protein shake with some other stuff that'll help you get the nutrients you need for the day.
Throw in the Queso Fiesta ones into a
Yeah,
milkshake.
So good.
you could do that.
Oh, I love them so much. They're like real good. Anyway.
Well, the last story here comes from Sage, and she says, they say, hello, so here's some backstory. When I was going into 4th grade, I was getting my tonsils removed. I've always been prone to strep throat, and I had strep so much that the medicine I was taking wasn't working anymore, so I had to get them removed. So I get my tonsils removed, and everything is fine until a week later, I start to feel a tickle in my throat. I don't think anything of it. But about 2 days later, I wake up at 3 a.m. with something dripping down my throat at a pretty fast rate. I should also mention that I had got a cold after the surgery, so I was sneezing and coughing a lot. Anyways, I wake
I'm
up,
waking
my
up
mom...
in a panic. If something is dripping down my throat at a pretty fast rate, it's 3 a.m. I probably don't know
No.
where I am or what's going on. And something is
The witching hour? No.
I have seen and read too many sci-fi fantasy stuff. That's not
I've watched
okay.
too many
I'm not okay.
I've already watched so many Paranormal Activity movies that at this point, 3 a.m. is so scary to me as well.
Just
that
3
if
a.m.
I felt something
specifically.
going down my throat and looked over and saw 3 a.m., I'd be like, I'm dead. This thing is coming. I'm being
That's
possessed.
it. I'm done. I'm out.
Fun. Anyways, I wake up my mom and ask for some cough medicine. As she is getting the medicine,
not
I have
even
a coughing
coughing.
fit and taste something weird. So I
guess
go
you're
into the
coughing now.
bathroom where my mom was getting the medicine and look to see what was wrong. When I look, I see blood on my tongue. My throat had been
That's
bleeding.
not where that belongs.
So she wakes up my dad and we drive to the hospital. They end up pumping 200 cc's of blood out of my stomach and cauterize my throat. We go back home
That's
after
wild.
that and everything is fine until around 7 p.m. when I taste more blood. So I go back into the bathroom to check, and yet again my throat is bleeding. So my mom has to pack an overnight bag and drive me to the hospital while my dad was at work. I got my throat cauterized again. I am so sorry, and had to stay overnight. I am fine now and have only had strep throat once since the surgery.
I have 2 questions. One for
Shoot.
you, Sage. Did you get all of those hospital visits comped for clear just idiocracy?
Yeah. There had to be something else going on with the doctors for them not to be able to cauterize correctly.
And 2, this is a question for you guys. If Sage were hypothetically a vampire, would this be cannibalism or self-harm or some combination of the two?
You know, we talk about the Cheez-its a lot. Clearly, Sage has a blood problem. I would recommend less blood. 200
Yeah.
cc's is wild.
If you want to check out my dad's old therapist, I'm sure they would be happy to see you about
Pretty great dude.
the constant blood trickle. But no, hypothetically, Ryan, you did not even try to weigh in on this one. If Sage were a vampire, would this be cannibalism?
I mean, no.
It doesn't. But cannibalism does not have to mean it was on purpose.
Okay, but can
No,
I
I just
tell you
don't think
guys a
it's me.
gross story about blood in a throat?
Wait,
Can I
what?
tell you?
What?
Oh,
Can I tell you
Yeah,
some
man,
really weird
you've set something up real confusing and concerning, buddy. You gotta lean into this one now.
This just reminded me of it. Okay, so my brother-in-law went to dental school, and in his last year of dental school, one of his fellow students, who was also graduating that year, was getting her teeth worked on. And she was like, dope, let's do this, whatever. You know that little like suction-y like tube thing they put in your mouth to make sure
Yeah.
it gets
Yeah,
all
my
the
uncle
blood and
invented that.
everything?
liquid out.
My uncle literally
Wow,
invented that
your
machine.
families are really coming together
The
here.
dentist
Yeah.
while the dentist was working on her mouth, the pump, he turns on the pump, it stops sucking, and instead begins
No,
to
don't say
pump
it starts blowing.
all the contents
No.
out. So
No.
everything they had sucked that day, and keep in mind this is
No.
around like 5 p.m.
Oh.
Everything they had sucked that day, all the blood, all the gunk, all the pus, everything,
Stop.
phew,
Stop.
pumps in straight into her mouth.
Oh no!
And she is just
I
terminated.
hate everything you're saying.
And I sincerely
right
hope to that
now.
woman, they paid for all of your dental school. They reimbursed you the full fine. Like they
I
gave
hope
you
she's
everything.
still alive. Actually, no. I hope she's not still alive, so she doesn't have to just
For her
live
sake.
with the constant remembery of that. I said the word. I
How do you
wanted
not
to.
forget that? You will always remember the taste of that,
Oh.
right? You have to.
Okay.
I hope she has a good like spirit
Lawyer?
about it though. Like anytime she just like also that a good lawyer for it, but like a good spirit. Like anytime she just like her friends have like eat something, they're like, oh, this wasn't very good. She just goes, I've had worse. I hope
Oh my God.
Okay, the best case scenario is that this woman is an ornithologist and she's like, oh, so this is what it's like to be a baby bird.
That's very true.
She's just answering the deepest, darkest, most mysterious questions of ornithology
And that-
on accident.
Yeah, and she was accidentally also a cannibal, technically, as well. Is she a cannibal in that situation?
I think.
I think we have to look up the definition of cannibal.
Oh.
She's...
A person who eats the flesh of other human beings.
He's gotta be the flesh.
No.
Okay,
yes.
so it's not
no,
flesh.
she wouldn't be a cannibal. But if she did it on purpose, she would still be weird.
She goes back for a taste.
She gives it that Brittany Broski reaction.
She just like sneaks up to the pump every now and then.
I'm laughing, but I'm gonna throw up.
I ate before this podcast, and I wish I hadn't.
I'm sorry,
I haven't eaten yet.
Oh.
And so now I'm
sorry,
not
Ryan.
hungry.
Oh.
Anyway, that's the end of all the stories.
Thanks, Dan.
Including mine.
Oh, that has been a fun, horrific episode of the podcast.
Now, just because we can, we should vote on our favorite story.
Alice, for sure.
Yeah, Alice has to win for this one.
Alice, but
Just
I will
because
say
it's a new one. Anonymous has given us the time to process. You know, we've been like doing that, and then, Alice came in swinging. Just another home run. Out
Alice said, cracks knuckles, type. Opens diary.
Crazy. Also, I will say that Kaylani's story added a different tone.
The Cheez-its.
Yes, the
Cheez-its.
Cheez-its story is it's different, right? So there's points for that too.
I think there's points for having so few details that it made it fun. You know what I mean? It was up to our understanding of whatever was going wrong.
Yeah, we should give different accolades. So first accolade, I think, best all-around story of the week.
Alice.
Is Alice.
Yeah.
Most interesting
vague-
follow-up would be Anonymous. Most interesting, like an award for starting it all. You beautiful, crazy human being.
Absolutely. Can we give an award for the least amount of details?
Yes, absolutely. That definitely goes to Cheez-It Kalani.
Okay. I want to give them all an award.
Craziest family.
That's Alice.
That's Alice for sure.
Yeah, Alice.
I want to give them all an award.
Most visceral is the last story.
Yeah. Hated all of that. That goes to Dan.
Yeah, that does go to Dan.
Okay, so Anonymous wins best follow-up.
Best blackmail
Ooh.
is Kelly for sure.
The best twist of blackmail.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What would the NJROTC person? Best story from a lesbian.
Absolutely.
Yes. Representation. Yeah.
Best LGBT because it was good tea.
Wow.
For the straights.
Who gives a shit about the Qs? I guess.
Look, it's Q plus 2 now. There's 2. The number 2 is in it.
Ryan. God,
Yeah.
you hate women and now you hate Qs.
I hate the number 2.
I don't even know how we could continue having you on this podcast anymore.
Oh my gosh.
You know what?
bots.
I hope the Harry Potter fans cancel you just as much as they cancel them.
I hope so too. Because
I
you will
just
not
wanted to
handle
make
it as well as
wordplay.
I do.
No, obviously not. Clearly. Are you kidding? Look at this face. I'm going to cry. I feel bad.
So, okay,
immediately.
so best follow-up goes to Anonymous. Best representation goes to... I don't think there was a name for that one.
No, there wasn't.
But they said they were a lesbian, and that was important to the story, I guess. Best twist. Just make it a general best twist.
I'm
Kelly's?
gonna Alice again. Yeah, that twisted.
Oh, Alice does have a good twist. God, Alice just has such a powerful story.
She does.
Yeah, best blackmail.
Jesus.
Best blackmail. I love best blackmail as well.
Yeah, Alice wins best of show. And let's see. Okay, so Kaylani wins least amount of details.
Absolutely.
Great. And
Confused.
And
That's
the
what
last
I'm-
one, Sage wins the Grey's Anatomy Award
Yes.
for medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice. Also, we hope that it's cauterized and doesn't do anything.
They said, yeah, I'm fine now, and I've only had strep throat once since the surgery.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sage wins the Grey's Anatomy Award of the week.
Love it. Love it.
We're going to keep making these up because I'm enjoying this part of the show.
Ben's
Me
favorite
personally,
part.
I don't... but that is all of our stories submitted by you. We probably are going to make this a regular thing.
I hope so.
So just stay tuned. If you don't follow us on Instagram, that's when I kind of post about when we're going to ask you for these stories. But if you do, good on you. Thanks for seeing. Thanks for responding. We appreciate you. But that is it. That is all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this was your first time, we hope we said something that someone else went through and make you want to come back and listen to us some more. If you want to see any of us outside of the podcast, Ryan, where can they find you?
Reagan. Yeah.
Ray!
Reagan. You can find me at youthpastorryan.com. Dan, where can they find you?
They can find me at Dan Bam Bam on all social media except for Snapchat, which is at Dan_YOLO_love. Ben.
You
Yeah,
can find
it
me at benbrainard.com. Brainard is spelled Brain, A-R-D. If you can't figure that out, try using yours. You can find all the podcast links online at gdfmpodcast.com, and you can email the podcast at podcast@gdfmpodcast.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.